afternoon, everyone. I didn't hear you. I said good afternoon, everyone. That's a little bit better. We're not used to like quiet crowds. We want to hear a little bit of activity from the people here assembled this afternoon. And so thank you all very much for joining us again. And I think that we've got some people behind us. Come on in. Don't be bashful. There we go. This is a grand entrance. Like, hi folks, how are you doing? Good. That's good. So we have lots of good things that will be happening this afternoon, and we're going to hear from some of our speakers and entertainers as well from musical groups across Danvers. But before we begin, I'd like to ask a woman who's been working so tirelessly to help pull this event together this year. And I honestly have to say that I've looked at this event many, many years, and she's really been absolutely wonderful. Just so accommodating to everyone, always listening to what folks have to contribute, always willing to adjust to issues that get raised, with the final point being to try to do the best program that we possibly can have. So with that, let me ask Sally Karens to come forward and say some words.
Thank you, Charlie, and a big hearty welcome. Happy MLK Day to everybody. The Danvers Committee for Diversity welcomes you. This is our 20th tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. It began with the Drum Majors for Justice dinner. David McKenna is in the room, David Mills, Susan Fletcher, obviously, the town of Danvers, and they were all part of that. And it's evolved into this program, and we're very excited to have so many students. Danvers High Chamber singers, St. John's Prep Swingtown, and the SUFA team, and we're just delighted to have you all here. Martin Luther King Jr.'s sister once said that she hoped people would remember her brother as an ordinary man, not as an icon and the hero we know him to be today. And the man himself never sought big recognition. He wanted only to be recalled as somebody who tried to serve others. As much as anything, King dedicated himself to making this country live out the true meaning of its creed, equality and freedom for all. Serving others was an essential element of King's life, and it is also fundamental to who we are as Americans. But there is more to this day than distilling MLK's life's work down to the message of service. Dr. King was also about pushing boundaries, pushing for fairness, justice, and equality. He went to jail 29 times for challenging and breaking unjust laws. He was threatened, but he kept moving forward. Some say we shouldn't canonize Dr. King. Some in the civil rights community at the time he was at his pinnacle of power and recognition felt he didn't go far enough. Others say the MLK Day should be a day of service. So let's do both. Let's rededicate ourselves to serving our neighbors who need help, maybe because working 40 hours a week doesn't pay enough to cover rent, utilities, insurance, and groceries. Let's celebrate and expand on our volunteerism in service to those we know and those we don't, to our planet, and to the idea of America. This town takes its volunteerism and its service very seriously, and we applaud that. And let's honor, absolutely. And let us also today honor this ordinary man and his extraordinary eloquence, his gift for using language to appeal to our best selves, something we are so desperate for right now. Let's honor acts of courage by other ordinary people throughout history who have pushed for liberty and justice for all, as well as those who continue the struggle right now, this week, #MeToo. And today, on behalf of women, immigrants, people of color, our LGBT friends, and those with disabilities, whatever our religious beliefs. And let's keep moving forward. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely wonderful words. Let me now ask Chairman of the Diversity Committee, Dutrashe Joko, to come forward to give welcome and opening remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's Day. I want to begin by taking a minute to say thank you to Dr. Dana Lisa. And the Danvers High School Principal, Dr. Jason Colombino. And everyone here at DHS for welcoming us as their guests. I also want to thank Alex Grover and the Danvers High School Chamber Singer, Jake Howley, and St. John's Prep Swingtown, and the students from SUFA for lending their incredible talent to our ceremony. Thank you to all the art teachers. If you haven't seen it yet, please take a look. They've been working very hard with the students to make all of this possible. And the message embedded in those artwork exemplify the incredible things that Dr. King spoke about. I also like to thank Sally Karen, who is a friend and a mentor, and Susan Fletcher, who is the glue who keeps the committee together. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my lovely wife of 20 years, my parents who are here today. My dad is blind, but I'm sure he can hear me. Thank you, and thank you, my teachers. As we celebrate Dr. King today, we are reminded that his work and sacrifice made our country a better place. With nothing more than love, open hands, and open heart, he worked to overcome centuries of oppression and discrimination, and thereby lay the groundstone for the many positive changes that have taken place. Today's King Day gathering is rendered especially meaningful this year because our nation is once again going through a period of heightened attention to questions of social justice and racial equality. We all know that social justice and racial equality are two critical core values advocated by Dr. King. And he fought very hard for all people, whether you were black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native, immigrant, you name it. It's true that we have made remarkable progress since then, but we can all agree that more work still needs to be done in these areas. And gatherings like this today are only to help achieve those goals. America is a country of immigrants, and we are at our best when we treat each other with dignity and respect. As Dr. King said himself, we may have come from different ships, but we're all in the same boat, all wanting to live the American dream. I know an immigrant from Cameroon who has been in America for a couple of decades. He started as a janitor in a fast food restaurant. By the way, the fried chicken recipe that he makes is amazing. So if you want to try some of his homemade fried chicken, see me after the program. He then moved on and got another job as an animal care technician in a lab, where he started feeding mice that were used for research. Fast forward, he learned English. He earned 2 master's degrees. He was a school teacher. He earned a doctorate in pharmacy. Despite his busy schedule as a father, a husband, a mentor, he still strives every day to serve, to help his community be the best community that it can be. He has an accent and a funny name. And yes, indeed, he's the chairman of the Danvers Committee for Diversity. I'm sure in this room there are similar stories. There are many stories like this all over the nation. And only in America could a story like this be possible. We cannot go back. We cannot look back. As Dr. King said, if you can fly, fly. If you can run, run. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. The most important thing is that you move forward. Please, please, let us continue to honor Dr. King's commitment for equality, humanity, and social justice for all. Thank you very much. I will now ask the Honorable Board of Selectmen, David Mills, to come forward and make a remark.
We're talking about fried chicken.
Hi everyone, I'm David Mills, and I'm this year's chairman of the Board of Selectmen. Diane Langley and Dan Bennett, 2 of my colleagues, join with Bill Clark, who is not here, and Gardner Trask, who is not here, as your full board, to say thank you, welcome, thank you to Susan and Dee and all of the people on the Diversity Committee. I just am here to say welcome, but I got to tell you one story. Look at you can't see my iPhone too well, but it's multicolored. That's my screensaver. It was on the wall here last year. It's now on the wall in the selectmen's room. So a year ago, I had a friend visiting from Germany. I showed him this. He took a copy. We reconnected just 1 week ago, a year later, and he showed me his screensaver. This is it. It's been all over the world from here. So what we do is important, even if it's little teeny specks. Thank you and the school and all of the people who have made this thing a source of great happiness and pride. Welcome and congratulations from the Board of Selectmen.
I'd now like to ask Dr. Lisa Dana to come forward to extend good wishes of the Danvers Public Schools.
Thank you. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to welcome you to Danvers High School. On behalf of the Danvers School community, we are pleased that all of you are here to pay respect to Dr. King's legacy and to partner with the Danvers Committee for Diversity to continue MLK's work by giving back to the community. Today's event is a wonderful example of continuing Dr. King's vision with educational and community programs, and it is aligned with the mission of the King Center, which is dedicated to educating the world on the life, legacy, and teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So to inspire new generations to carry forward his unfinished work, strengthen causes, and empower change makers who are continuing his efforts today. It is our vision that the children in Danvers go on to become productive, responsible, caring citizens of the global community and achieve their definition of success. On Friday, I had the opportunity to see the Thorpe third graders share Dr. King's dream and their own dreams of making positive change in our world. Today, all of us have the opportunity to be inspired by the artwork of our K-8 students and an amazing video by our DHS club, SUFR, Students United for Acceptance. Today's event is a wonderful example of Danvers Public Schools' core values of caring, quality, commitment, and collaboration in action. I would like to thank the town's Committee for Diversity, the Danvers Public Schools Administration, especially Keith DeVerner, Mary Wormers, Tom Powers, our Food Service Director, and his staff, and Jason Colombino, our Danvers High School Principal, and his leadership team, our DPW and their staff, and the number of teachers and students who have come together along with the support of our elected officials, our school committee members, our Board of Selectmen, our state representative Ted Spiliotis, and our state senator Joan Lovely. Thank you for being here. Who have come together to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with a special thank you to our K-8 arts teachers, Alex Grover here doing our music and our audio and sound for us, Kristen Ogliowicz, Will Ford, co-advisors for our Danvers High School Super Club, and for our Danvers High School senior Daisy Powers, who pulled together today's video. As we continue with MLK's work by giving back to the community, I'd like to close with his quote that life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Thank you and enjoy your evening. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Lisa, for those wonderful words. I should confess that I'm an academic, and when you're an academic, you can't not say a few words, so I'm going to say a few words, and I'll try to be as quick as I can. So good afternoon. I want to thank everyone for being here today, for sharing for this very special day with us. Had he lived, Dr. King would have been 89 years old today. January 15th is his birthday, and it's so wonderful that that's converging with the 20th anniversary of MLK Day here in Danvers. In many ways, I feel he would have been happy and honored to be here with us in Danvers High School to celebrate his birthday. I'm sure he'd be looking around the room, admiring the beautiful artwork of elementary, middle, and high school students, who admire the posters and paintings and be waiting to hear the chamber sing as speakers and outstanding vocal group from St. John's Prep. He'd be thankful for the teachers and administrators, politicians, and parents that are here today to celebrate his work, and through their presence provide tangible evidence and validation of the importance of his passionate belief that we are all brothers and sisters bound together in a shared destiny of compassion, peace, and love. All of us would be a delight to him, knowing that his work, his dream, his vision is alive and flourishing here in Danvers and across the nation. If I might, I'd like to just take a quick minute to pause again to recognize Superintendent Lisa Dana for her leadership across the system and her work in the community, neighborhoods, and with families that surround us. She and her team have all worked to make the power of education and the reach of our school a real and tangible aspect of everyday life here in Danvers. She was a teacher and role model to my two daughters, and my wife Phyllis was sitting right over here, my lovely wife Phyllis. Lisa was a role model for the two of them, who saw through her that excellence, determination, and commitment to lofty goals could lead to success in life's pursuit. And all of this, especially for young women here in Danvers, in the Danvers school system, she's making an important difference, and I'm confident that she's making the prospect of a much brighter future, enriching and prosperous results ahead, a possibility for all the students in the Danvers Public Schools. So, as we think about Dr. King and what's happening in the world today, is our work done? No. Is everything we want to accomplish completed? No. Are there still daunting challenges before us? Yes. But work to be done and unanswered questions is what compels us all to do what we do every day. Work to be done is what brought me into the wonderful world of work here in the Danvers Committee. And we're all surrounded by this work, and it uplifts all of us on the Diversity Committee and representing you in this town and trying to bring the power of what Dr. King was trying to say to the people of the world, that they should be looking at the United States as a beacon and a light for what's right about this country and what's right about what America stands for. The fact we are not alone in this world fact that we are not alone in this work, the fact that we are united in our effort is what informs me that there's no reason for us to despair. We are not alone, and by working together, I know ultimately we will prevail. So just quickly, I'm coming to the end of this. In thinking about the road we travel, I'm reminded that many others have traveled along this road, seen what we see, and they've passed along words to guide us. And I'd like to just share a few. First, in a letter from Thomas Jefferson to James Madison. And I say finally, whether peace is best preserved by giving energy to the government or information to the people. The last is the most certain, the most legitimate engine of government. Educate and inform the whole mass of the people. Enable them to see that it is in their interest to preserve peace and order, that will preserve them. And it requires no very high degree of education to convince them of this. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty, the education of the people. So then, it's not a trite cliche when I say that Dr. King would say that education is the key that unlocks the doors to life, liberty, and happiness. Despite setbacks and defeats, lost ground and unrealized ambition, he would urge us all to keep pushing forward and would tell us that we must never give up and we must never give in. So, the escaped slave and fearless emancipator Harriet Tubman said it best. If you hear the dogs, keep going. If you see the torches in the woods, keep going. If they're shouting after you, keep going. Don't ever stop, keep going. If you want a taste of freedom, keep going. In her own efforts to emancipate herself from slavery, when she found out that she had crossed the Mason-Dixon line and was free, she said, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person now that I was free. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came up like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven. That's freedom in America. It's like heaven. It's on earth. We are enjoying it here in the United States. So we want to thank you all for being here with us today. Let's keep going and never cease believing what Dr. King promised. We will get to the promised land, and we will overcome. So with that, let me ask our very, very multi-talented young students from the Danvers Chamber Singer under the able direction of Alex Grove to come forward and lead us in song.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our first selection is a setting of a poem by Sarah Tisdale. It's a powerful message of tranquility, hope, and faith. So this is Stars I Shall Find.
There will be rest and joy.
I'd like to recognize our student accompanist, Ivy O'Connell, class of 2019. This next one should be a little bit more familiar to you, setting of Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace indeed. Very talented student here. Danvers High School, Daisy Powers, worked on a wonderful video that she's prepared for us and wants to share with all of us today. So Daisy and technicians, let's see the video.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
We're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round. And you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we can walk it out. Ooh.
I believe that this quotation still applies to the Danvers High community today because I've worked here now for 8 years, and whenever I walk around this building, I see students who are committed to making the world a better place, and they know that their attitude is as important as their ability. As Atticus Finch once said, you never really understand a person until you walk a mile in their shoes. Nothing worth doing was ever easy, and I know that we make that forward motion every day.
And I rise up, I like the waves, I rise up, in spite of the ache, I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
I think a lot of people love MLK because he wanted acceptance for all, and you see a lot of that here at DHS because if you're new here on your first day or you weren't really in the Danvers realm, then a lot of people are willing to help you out if you need anything.
I just think it's a very awesome community in general. I don't really see people being negative about it. I feel like we're all like helping out each other, like as a community. It's a really nice community, and I like these people.
Would take the world to its feet.
Danvers High School's mission is to foster independent and critical thinking. Dr. King's quote is just as relevant today as it was when he said those words because of the continued power of public education. Public education has the ability to open doors, to open minds, to address and to rectify past and current injustices, and perhaps most importantly, to help foster and support our students for the future to make for a more equitable, safe, and happy community.
Intelligence plus character is basically part of the motto at DHS because, ladies and gentlemen, always the goal of true education being having the character of learning for the right reasons and wanting to grow and make the world a better place is still like really popular here at DHS.
At DHS, there's a lot of students who are motivated to learn, and that motivation really builds off their character in order for them to succeed as a student in intelligence and in their classes.
At DHS, it's not only learning this, learning that, it's learning cooperatively while also thinking intensively and
If you can't fly, then run. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. How does this quote relate to you?
It relates to me, like on a soccer field, like whenever stuff goes bad, like when something happens, you just gotta let it go and keep moving forward and keep working hard, and positive stuff will happen, and good stuff will happen on the soccer field, and any sport that anyone plays.
This was really the made for study. That means it's when you don't quit. If you get great score, great grades, you just move on and get going to get good and whatever you want to get scores. I read Steve Jobs biography. He also said just moving forward.
Let freedom reign from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom reign from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom reign from every hill and mole when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
So Daisy's right there, taking pictures. If I could just quickly say that we'd like to thank the elected officials and others who are here today that have joined us. I think we recognized some, but let me just say also that Ted Spiliotis is here, and our good David Mills was sitting right in front of me. Diane Langley, is here. Dave McKenna, I know that I spoke with just a few minutes ago. Joan Lovely, our senator, is here. Dan Bennett, a good friend, a good buddy, is here. From the library, fellow trustee, Julie Curtis. Hi, Julie, good to see you. And from the school committee, David Thompson and Eric Crane. I think that I might have recognized everyone. Jeff. Jeff, sorry about that.
It's all right.
I'm terrible, you know that I'm always getting names wrong. Come up here and tell me.
And Mary Beth Berry.
Mary Beth Berry, former library trustee. And Gigi, I see sitting right here. I'm sorry, I should recognize you for all the very important and good work that you do. You're a real role model, important to everyone. Let me now ask that we recognize the outstanding young men from St. John's Prep, Swingtown, who are going to join us with some music from the other side of town. And I should say, under the able leadership of Jay Pollack, who's the director. Hi, Jay.
As we get set up, I just want to thank my good friend Alex Grover and for just such a welcoming community. We love the relationship our two schools have, and that we just love singing together, we always say. So thank you for being here tonight, and we have a couple of songs for you.
Hi everyone, yeah, we're Swingtown. Our first song that we're going to be doing was written by Paul McCartney in 1968 as a response to the civil rights movement. It's very beautiful and yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
All right, once again, we are Swingtown. Thank you for having us tonight. We're really honored to be here. Standing cold and scared atop a blue hill, there came a moment when I lost my will. I prayed for mercy, Lord, please take me away. Or give me sunshine where I only see gray. The past had a hold on me, it can't be denied. And the changes didn't come easily. I've been lonely, I've been cheated, I've been misunderstood. I've been washed up, I've been put down, told I'm no good. But with you I belong, 'cause you help me be strong. There's a change in my life since you came along. Whoa, whoa, yeah.
Now I don't mind working so hard every day, and I don't pay no mind to what people say. And after all the pain I've been through, I'd give up everything to love only you. All my life I held my head bent in shame, and now I've found you, and with you I'll remain. I've been lonely, I've been cheated, I've been misunderstood. I've been washed up, I've been put down, told I'm no good. But with you I belong, 'cause you help me be strong. There's a change in my life since you came along. Whoa, whoa, yeah. And it gets crazy when this life is all wrong, and our heart gets weary when it doesn't belong. When the road gets rocky, Lord, you've got to keep on.
Let the good light come shining on through.
I've been lonely, I've been cheated, I've been misunderstood. I've been washed up, I've been put down, told I'm no good. But with you I belong, 'cause you help me be strong. There's a change in my life since you came along. I've been lonely, I've been cheated, I've been misunderstood. I've been washed up, I've been put down, told I'm no good. But with you I belong, 'cause you help me be strong. There's a change in my life since you came along. I've been lonely, I've been cheated, I've been misunderstood. I've been washed up, I've been put down, told I'm no good. But with you I belong, yeah, 'cause you help me be strong. There's a change in my life since you came along. Whoa, whoa, yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with the prep, but it's working, guys. My son is a prep dad, so I think you got a little bit of soul over there. That sounds real good to me. Let me say that we do have a number of the clergy here in the room, and I'd like to recognize all of the wonderful people from all other churches, and especially, I shouldn't say especially from Maple Street Church, because that's my church, but especially Maple Street Church, but I'm sure that there are many members of the clergy. Please stand, wave your hands, and let everybody see you and how wonderful you are. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to do a little spoken word, and I'm going to ask Shakita Cummings to come forward. She's going to lead us in Know Me, Know You, Know Us.
So hi everybody, how are you doing?
Good.
I'm just going to put a little side note because my daughter who's at work just called me. Dennis, can you call your daughter? She's at work, she's trying to reach us. First I want to say that the teenagers are awesome. Daisy, the video was amazing. It hit me right in the heart. And Danvers Chamber Singers and Swingtown from St. John's Prep, you guys were amazing. It was beautiful. I could tell it definitely came from your heart, and it's great. And I want to say that I feel something in the room tonight. I don't know if anyone else feels it, but I feel something deep in my gut. Does anybody else feel anything interesting, weird? Yeah, interesting. And I think what that is what we're feeling is some change. We're feeling the birth pains of change. Before anything amazing happens, we got to go through some dark and ugly times. We got to experience some pain and just some ugly stuff. And we all know what's going on in the world right now. And it's some ugly stuff, wouldn't you say? But I want to encourage you guys, rest assured that change is going to come. Dr. King had to face some pretty disgusting things, abhorring things. And some changes come. Though we've come a long way, we've still got a long way to go, and I encourage you all to stay strong, fight the good fight, do what you know is right, speak up not just for yourselves, speak up for people who cannot speak for themselves, who don't have the opportunity. If you see something wrong going on, speak up. That's the only way things are going to change. So, let me get back to where I am. First thing I want to do is I want to set a timer on my clock because I know that everyone's time is valuable, and I want to stay within the parameters that I'm supposed to be. So let me just set a little clock really quick. But what I'm going to talk to you about today is a group that I started on Facebook. That group is called Know Me, Know You, Know Us, all with a K, K-N-O-W. And I'm going to share with you a quote by Carter Hayward. The quote goes, "She was tired in her body and soul of the indignities of being black in America. She was weary of the excuses and violence. She was sick and tired of racism." Now, as a girl, she was the second oldest of 4 siblings. As a family, they attended this amazing mega church in Hampton, Virginia. It was the biggest church she had ever seen. So many people, all white people. It was a sea of white people. This little girl had never been around so many white people in her life, but that didn't matter because this place, the people, they were amazing. She made friends really quickly, and why wouldn't she? Because, you know, she was the cute little black girl. Everybody liked her. In this church of over 3,000 people, there were 2 other black families. So her black family and those 2 other black families became fast friends. And although there was very little diversity in this place, the little girl loved being there. It was no Disneyland, but it was the happiest place in the world to her. It was so different from her normal surroundings. The people at the church pronounced their words all clearly. They seemed to always dress perfectly, smell sweet. And it just seemed that everything that they did and said was perfect in every way. The people were just like the people she had seen on TV. Let me give you a little background information on this little girl. She was born a preemie in November of 1977. Her biological father was disgustingly abusive to her mother. Her very first memory of him were his hands around her pregnant mother's neck. He was choking her. And something inside that little girl clicked on that day. Every day since then, she had been angry, scared, and insecure. Eventually, her mother divorced that man, and some years later, she remarried to probably one of the most amazing men that God had ever created. He treated her mom like a queen. He loved her, and he loved her siblings. For the sake of time, I'm going to end the story right there. But if you want to know me, you know where to find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm here. Talk to me. If you want to know more about me, come talk to me. Let's hang out. Let's have dinner, okay? Nelson Mandela said, if you want the cooperation of humans around you, you must make them feel they are important. And you do that by being genuine and humble. Now, because people, humans, have been hurt and abused by one another, it is now in our human nature to protect ourselves, right? To build a wall of protection around ourselves. Now, how do we do that? How do you do it? I'll give you some examples. We gossip about one another, right? We talk about what someone is wearing or where they live or what job they work. Oh my gosh, I can't believe she did that. We stay in our familiar surroundings. We don't conversate or reach outside of our comfort zone. Because I'm a black girl, I'm going to talk to only black people because, well, that's what I'm comfortable with. We judge one another. Any reason we can find to judge someone, we will, based on the way they raise their children or anything. We find reasons, don't we? We profile one another. We allow the media and others to categorize people groups. Unbeknownst to us, the media, the billboards, TV, commercials, movies, radio, magazine, newspapers, they, in a very nice undertone and very often very overtly, tell us who you are and who you are. They tell you who I am. And we buy into it because we hear it and we see it all the time. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life, a little bit more. All of my closest friends and associates are different than I am. They're different colors, they're different nationalities, they've got mixed race kids. It is the most amazing thing ever, I promise you. If you don't have that, I encourage you to get that. My eclectic group of friends and associates are one of my greatest gifts, so I'm going to tell you about some of them. My husband, Dennis, the closest thing to me, he happens to be very much opposite of me, not only in mannerisms and personality, but I'm African American. My husband is Filipino and Irish. What a mix. Everybody thinks he's Hispanic, so as soon as somebody new comes up to him, they start speaking Spanish to him. You know what he does? He pretends he knows what they're saying. And he picks up a couple of words here and there, and he took enough Spanish in school to where he can reply a little bit. But when it just goes way too far and he doesn't get it, he just goes and speaks English and they get it. They're like, oh, he doesn't know Spanish. And then my best friend, her name is Christina. She is Puerto Rican. I met Christina back when I lived in Virginia. She now lives in Florida. Christina showed me about Puerto Rican food. The beans and the rice and the, what is that pork called? Pernil. It's amazing. I'm telling you this because I want to tell you the amazing things you miss when you close the door to people different than you. My husband and I have a married couple that are really good friends of ours, Darwin and Sylvia. Sylvia is African American, Darwin is full-blooded Filipino. And they have these beautiful, amazing children. That right there is good enough for me to say, reach out and touch somebody different. I have a friend named Brooke from Virginia. She is Greek. I have a friend named Gayatri. She is Trinidadian. She taught me about the spicy Trinidadian foods. Something else I love about Gayatri is she is one of the most in touch with her feelings person I've ever met. I'm kind of jealous of it because she feels and she's able to convey it in words. Most of us aren't like that, and she's like that. And had I not reached outside of the normal things in my life, I wouldn't be able to experience someone who can just feel it and then convey it into words. It's a beautiful thing. The beauty and richness these amazing people add to my life is priceless. Without the foods, without the love, the wisdom, the practical knowledge, the laughter, the time spent with these people, my life would be basic. It would be less than. There's beauty in our differences. There's beauty in the way we walk, in the way we talk, in our different upbringings, in our hair textures, in our eye colors, in our skin tones, how we communicate. Folks, I want to know you. I want to know your background. I want to know the foods you ate as a kid. I want to know how you discipline your kids. Maybe you can help me out. I have 4 teenagers and they're killing me. They're killing me. You've got something to give to me that's going to help me in this life. Marion Wright Edelman said, "It is utterly exhausting being black in America, physically, mentally, and emotionally. While many minority groups and women feel similar stress, there is no respite or escape for your badge of color." I can't escape my blackness, folks. You can't escape your whatever your nationality is. Embrace it. Together, we can change things. Together, we can be an example to the world of an us. If we crave real change, we must see ourselves as a collective group of people. My fear and uncertainty when my 3 black sons leave my house is not my problem. It's our problem. My discomfort and uneasiness I feel when I walk into a room of all white people, it's not my problem. It's our problem. The fear some of you might feel when you see a young black man walking down the street with dreadlocks, that's not your problem. It's all of our problem. You not knowing and understanding the slang words these young kids are talking today, I want to say it's their problem, but it's not. It's our problem. You see, if you don't know me and I don't know you, you will believe the hype. And what exactly is the hype? Does anybody know what the hype is? The hype is all of the outside voices, the media, your friends and family. The hype is anyone but you and your own experiences. Danvers, Massachusetts, we are an us. We're not just an old kind of us, any old kind of us. We're the us that Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed of. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I look to a day when people, us, will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character." He said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in a moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." He also said, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." Danvers, today I challenge you to leave here with not only a warm and fuzzy feeling of having done your part, but with a burden for active change. I implore you, I beg you, and I plead with you to leave here with the burden of action, the burden to become an us, to get to know me and others outside of your comfort zone. Allow me to know you so that we can become an us. In this way, the world would know us as a people, not as a color. And that's what our Facebook group is about. Know me, know you, know us. Thank you so much.
What a very powerful message, and so well spoken and very well delivered as well. We're also going to have some more spoken words, and we're going to have Betsy Katz come forward, who's going to lead us in a very improvisational exercise. It's called the Human Symphony. We're all instruments in the symphony, so be prepared to play your instrument.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for being here, everybody coming out on such a cold night for this lovely occasion. I'm honored to be here. I was on the committee for several years. My children are students at Danvers High School, and my eldest just got into college. Exciting. So thank you. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to share this experimental experience with you. So I wanted to just kind of go right into it, but I did put some words down as I was listening. I was really moved by a lot of the words that I heard tonight and the songs that I heard tonight, and I was just taking some notes as I felt moved, and I put some notes down. So I just want to share them with you very briefly, and we'll get right into it. So besides being a Danvers community member for almost 20 years, and my children going through the Danvers school system, I also have served on the diversity committee and have been an active dance teacher in the community for years at the senior center and in the shelters that we had hosted for many years here in Danvers, working with the children. So I work with the expressive arts in a therapeutic manner for healing. And I'm attending Lesley University, where I'm writing my master's thesis right now, with cultural competency at the highest top line of the thesis. So Martin Luther King tried to serve others. The words that I wrote down that really moved me, and I'm sure moved all of us, were equality and freedom for all, pushing for justice, pushing boundaries for all, keep going, the sun came up, rise up, bound together in a shared destiny. How can we serve? When we were talking about serving and Martin Luther King as a server, as a healer, what came to me over the years when problems arose in Danvers was, how could I serve? And how could I understand the individuals at the senior center or the experience of the families in the shelter? We can feel these feelings. There's a visceral feeling that comes up in us when we hear these words. But how can we really know? Well, what I'm studying at Lesley is embodied knowledge. We feel it. And beginning to develop this empathic knowing. Walk a mile in my shoes. What does it feel like, really, for these individuals that we want to help, that we want to serve? How can we serve? So I guess the idea today that I wanted to ask you to participate in is this collective movement piece where we could feel what it feels like in our bodies, to begin to develop this awareness in ourselves for others. We listen, we watch, we do a lot of listening and a lot of watching, and senses do come up in us, but we don't necessarily feel them until we act, until we put ourselves into the movement. Yes? Okay. So thank you for coming, and I think I pretty much covered it all. I found a very interesting, I'm in academia also, like I said, and I found an interesting research article on rhythm, and all of the rhythms in the body and how they change, obviously our neuroscience, so we'll all leave here a little bit changed in the brain. So here we go, let's try it. You ready? Yes. All right, so it goes like this. You can do whatever you want, okay? So you can move as much as you want or as little as you want, but the idea is just engagement, eye contact, even a finger, whatever mobility you have. I'm going to ask you all to just rise up, if you would, and make a giant step back so that we're all in a circle or an oval. So, or stay right where you are. But just sort of opening it up so we can all see each other. Are you ready? Okay, Mary, where are you? Come on. All right. Thank you so much for participating. Look at all these smiling faces. This is awesome. This is incredible. Great. Okay. See, even this is so cool, just to be able to see everybody in this way. It's great to kind of walk around. Hello. All right, are you ready? Yes. Okay, Mary, can you come down here? Tish, you stay there. All right. This group right here. Hi. Beautiful. Hollister. From Hollister. Can I touch you? Okay, I have to ask permission. To you. All right, are you ready? No, you're going to stand right here. Okay, this group. Are you ready? All right. Where are we starting, Ted? Okay, over to here? Yes? All right. Here we go. Do something with my microphone. Keep it up. Clap, clap, clap. Keep it up. Clap, clap, clap. You come out here. Oh, you come out here and we get to watch it. Ready? Up, up, down. Good. Here we go. In. Reach, come on. Reach. All right. feel like? How did it feel?
Great.
Great. Good to be together. Fun. Cool. Strong. Good. Good. You feel connected? Yes?
Together.
Together. All right. This connection. It's a nice feeling. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. I don't know, Charles, if you want to.
No, that was wonderful, seeing everyone doing so many different things, but when you put it all together, it makes a beautiful symphony of action and energy.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to ask Springtown. No, we're not going to ask Springtown. We're going to ask Alex to come back up and lead us in one last number that we're all going to sing together. So, let me say, folks, if I can, this plaque right here has the name of all of the folks who supported this event. And I want to say CBS Health, thank you CBS Health. Eastern Bank, thank you Eastern Bank. Northeast Community Bank, thank you Northeast Community. Cranny Home Services, thank you Cranny. Ripples of Hope, Danvers Deep, thank you people from Danvers Deep. And Essex County. You know, that's not going to include you, really. But thank all of the sponsors who helped us with what we are doing here tonight and all the work that we're doing. Now, everyone's going to know this song, I absolutely sure do.
All right, everyone. I think the words are in the back of the program. If everybody could join in, that would be awesome. We're just up here, to give you some support, but it's supposed to be everybody. So please feel free to join in. This is We Shall Overcome.
yesterday in Red Truck, who gave us our open. Charlie Desmond on here as well. Susan Fletcher, who's in the town manages staff. Nobly serves us on the committee. Bob Ingram, Rob Healy, Donna Hopkins, Sally Karen, Dave McKenna, David Mills right here, Paul Pollack, Lieutenant Ashley Sandbaum, and George Sanchez Salazar. All citizens every day of their lives working to make this committee your committee. This is the Danvers Committee for Diversity. We're trying to represent you as best we can. Please get involved. Please lend us your support. It's so good to see another generation coming behind us. They are the only messengers we'll send into the future. These young people, they are the messengers we send into the future, and they're going to send a great message from all of us. So thank all of our presenters. Thank the spoken word people. Thank these fabulous kids. I cannot read that.
Here, the swing town.
Swing town, of course. So thank you all very much. Please join us next year. We'll be back, and it's been wonderful.